What's up guys, it's Wilson, also known as Designed by Will, and in today's video we're going to be going over the final production samples for revision. Now samples are extremely important, but these samples literally cost an arm and a leg. And we're going to be going over why they cost an arm and a leg, whether they're worth the price. But first, let's get into this channel sponsor. The pro version of the tech pack has officially launched, and we've introduced new items as well as fan favorites that are created more detailed for better production, such as the varsity jackets. These were a key highlight because the originals just weren't it. Even though I used them a lot for personal and client projects, I just wanted something that looked more professional, and this was it. We also introduced a colored version referencing of the Louis Vuitton collection and varsity collection that they have, as well as introduced some new hats and accessories like ballys and obviously bucket hats if you wanted to go that route. Don't forget the traditional stuff that we already had in there, like trucker hats and also cargo shorts, which we're going to be talking about in this video. In doing so, we also introduced new flare options as well as just the classic front view of the flare in case you wanted to display that with your manufacturer. But you can always just go ahead and customize and delete these pockets if you don't need these pockets, because these shapes are not expanded and this project and technical pack is meant for customization. So use this as a template to build your own custom streetwear to stand out for yourself. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I've been enjoying it. These were not produced via Alibaba. A client of mine actually recommended this manufacturer after I designed a project for them, and you can find this manufacturer list on the Streetwear Patreon. Obviously I can't give this one out for free because I can't be that guy, and these lists that I've made are people that I've actually worked with and not just a bunch of random manufacturers that I found on Alibaba. So I'm not giving you random lists like you see on TikTok. These garments were actually produced in Vietnam, and production time was halted due to the holidays. Everyone knows about the holidays. So it would have taken around 2 weeks because that's usually what it takes. But it took around 2 months for me to get these samples. I know, that sucks. But I guess it was worth it because you can't really stop someone from having a holiday if it's already scheduled. Overall, the garment quality and everything is a solid 10 out of 10. And let me just give a special shout out to their communications team, because we're talking via WhatsApp, and these guys are professionals. They'll show you processes, videos, steps throughout the whole thing, and it's very, I guess, comforting, especially when you're ordering off Alibaba. Sometimes the person doesn't want to talk to you or send you photos of production and you're just left in the dark. But we all know with great quality comes a greater price tag, and these samples were not cheap at all. These two samples alone run me back around 620 USD, which is crazy, but the garment production is acid wash, hand screen print, and also hand distressing. So you could justify the price if you were looking at from that standpoint. But this manufacturer also charges for setup. So usually on Alibaba, they won't charge you a setup fee for production screen print. They'll just charge you for production, which is better. But you just have to learn the hard way. But looking at the details here, you can clearly see that this wasn't no amateur work. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Production wise, I did reference this garment of Levi Bentley's Trinity label, and then how they have their distressing around the collars and also the arms. So that's where I got this idea from. And you guys saw me build this in my technical pack, how to make a technical pack 2023. And they've executed production to the T. So they've got it right 100%. And I have no adjustments on actual distressing. You can see the actual garment color, so it's like an indigo sort of black, and you can see the outside, which is a solid acid wash. But this also helps with the effect of giving a vintage looking graphic. Obviously we've lost detail in the Pharrell, especially around the eyes and also the colors. So originally in the first samples, we printed using DTG or direct to garment, which is basically a large printer that would print normally on like banners and stuff like that, printing directly just on a garment. On the left or on the right is the new sample, and to the right or to the left, whichever way you're looking at it, is the original, the one that I've just picking up. And you can see the difference night and day. This is what DTG looks like. Obviously, you get a lot more detail when doing DTG because you're just essentially printing the actual graphic from Photoshop directly onto the garment. And you can even see details like the little sparks in the earring, and also the Revision logo is extremely clean. Things like the eyes look image referenced completely, and everything is just there. But the major difference is those purples. Like, I really wish we were able to get those purples, especially in this 3D text, considering the amount of effort we put into the graphic regarding getting those looks and glows of purple. And even with these headphones, like making them shine a certain way to match the aesthetic that we're going for. And also the skateboard, we've lost detail in the skateboard. So you just gotta make a trade on what exactly you want in terms of graphic. I was going for a traditionally vintage sort of washed effect, and I was able to achieve that. But obviously I had to make sacrifices in print quality in order to achieve that. So we went with screen print, and you can see the different colors, especially with the eyes. They use the blues, they use greens and everything. I guess it just didn't blend well in here, but you can see the colors there, especially for the lips. They're very pink, and we've lost all the quality in the diamonds. But in doing so, we've produced a garment that we originally wanted, and we did screen print tags on the inside. And yet again, let me just show you guys the complete difference between the back in terms of DTG and screen print, just for reference if you guys wanted to know what the difference is when referring to DTG and screen print with your manufacturer. I would always recommend you do screen print, but for those crazy graphics that you see on Instagram, DTG is probably the only way you can keep those details in there. And I had to also learn this through the original screen print of the self-reflection tee when the outer glow was completely off print. Talking about the self-reflection tee, let's have a look at it right now. Print wise, I think this garment is absolutely beautiful. 10 out of 10. I removed the outer glow like in the video making a technical pack 2023. Make sure you guys check that out if you guys want to see the behind the scenes before production, so you can get a better understanding of what I put into in terms of actual technical. I didn't do anything more. Literally what you guys saw in the video is what I sent to my manufacturer. The print 10 out of 10, the overall fit 10 out of 10. In terms of graphic size, I'm using 17 by 21 to get that sort of massive graphic effect. If I could go larger, which I can with this manufacturer, I would, but I guess I was just doing too much. I didn't want to overdo it. You can see here the distressing is a lot more prominent on this cream color, but it looks beautiful and it absolutely adds to the sort of effect we're going for, especially with the brand and the approach we're taking into 2023. Like I said, we're not here to produce just a bunch of random stuff for TikTok and like make it blow up. We're actually here to build an established brand, and that's the approach we're taking. You can even see here that the print is overlapping some of the stitching, indicating that the garment was printed first and then sewn together, which is what most manufacturers do, not like normal screen print in the US or here in Australia, where printing is done after the garment construction. Now the colors are absolutely vibrant and popping. I didn't even give them a reference code for these colors. They just took them directly from Illustrator and Photoshop, and they did an amazing job in recreating it. For reference, here's the original sample for the self-reflection tee and the new one. The colors are night and day. The original one is muted. I do like the sort of muted look because it does suit the effect of a vintage looking tee, but you can't deny that that new vibrant red and blue is absolutely beautiful. Here's another side-by-side comparison just to give you a rough estimate on what production looks like. The one that I've just laid down was the old sample. Obviously it's wrinkled because it's been sitting in storage, but yeah, 100% going to the left. It's a more boxy fit than the one on the right, the old one, because the old one is just on a generic garment and the new one is complete cut and sew. And we've also put in our own size chart for the actual sizes to get a more personalized look. Just to close off the sample video, we have our revision Menace shorts. They officially have a name. They're called Menace shorts because, I don't know, they just look cool and they look like you could do some devilish activities in these things. These things they're amazing. I have no words. I'm speechless. Production is amazing and it turned out wonderful. This manufacturer was on Alibaba. Price for this sample was roughly $110, if I can guess that right. And they did an amazing job, especially with version 1 and version 2. So it's the same manufacturer that did both versions. And you can see the difference in terms of material because one of them is made out of 100% cotton and the other being nylon. Now, the main issue we had with this, if you guys watched the last video, was these zippers, these horrible zippers. Someone did suggest that I go with YKK zippers, and I've done production with a client before where they tell the manufacturer to use YKK zippers and they ended up using fake zippers, just introducing the YKK I guess zip pull. I don't know what you would call it. And they classified as YKK zippers, and he ordered a bulk and the zippers were still very faulty, and he was very heartbroken because he didn't want to put it out in production. And he has a very established brand and this drop was very anticipated, so he had to go back to the drawing board. You can see here that these zippers are just not it, and I would always recommend to people, if you're doing production with an Alibaba manufacturer and they're not known for quality, make sure you get something without zippers and something with zippers so you can understand the difference in the quality that you're getting. Taking a look at the new print or the new production sample, you can see here that this thing is absolutely phenomenal. In terms of material breakdown, it's 85% nylon, I guess, and 15% elasticine, so it's a little bit stretchy and it's perfect for the summer. You can get it wet, you can swim in it, and you're still chilling. Obviously, we need to move that branding tag upwards towards the actual sweatband or waistband of the garment, so it makes more sense. But you can see here that the details were not skipped when producing this garment. Overall, it looks amazing, especially with the embroidery. Like, just look how clean that embroidery is, and it's a little bit 3D going around the edges, and it looks perfect. Hardware wise, kept it silver. It adds a little bit of touch in terms of luxury to the garment, and the zipper pockets are gone here. We just have hidden side pockets. Someone did suggest that we put zipper pockets in the inside, but I looked at them sideways and I said never. But overall, this garment turned out perfect. I love this garment, and on the Instagram, everyone loves this garment too. They're waiting for the drop of this garment. You can see here the pull string and adjustable. I always forget the names of these little details. And yeah, this turned out amazing. I love this. Closing off this video, I just want to say that a lot of people are looking for a really good manufacturer at a really cheap cost, which doesn't make sense on an economic standpoint, especially when it comes to business. If things cost a lot more to make, they're going to be a lot more for the end-to-end customer, especially if you're not ordering bulk. That's why samples are so expensive. There have been a lot of comments saying, oh, this guy's asking $200 for 4 samples, and I look at them like, that is an amazing price. First of all, where'd you find that manufacturer, and how are you not getting scammed right now? Especially when I was producing these garments, when I saw that initial sample price, my jaw dropped. Even though production for mass was the same as Alibaba, the sampling was just wickedly high, especially at $600 just for 2 shirts, and then another $120 for the bottoms, giving me a total of almost $720 USD for garment production, let alone when we're going to the initial drop and getting inventory is kind of crazy, and that gives you a more realistic standpoint on producing higher quality garments. Let's just say that you want to produce a garment like a jacket and it's leather, and you think you're going to get a sample for less than, let's say, 350 USD. I don't even think that's a real garment in itself. Just looking here at the quality between a 60 to 70 USD sample to a more so 200 to 250 USD sample, you can clearly see that there's a difference in quality and production overall. Most of these Alibaba manufacturers are producing a lot of garments at once, and quality referencing isn't the main focal point, especially if you're just getting samples. Obviously, they'll take it more serious once you go into ordering the full set of inventory, but originally they're not going to be very lenient towards you. But with this new manufacturer, communication was there 100%, and also quality there was there, as you guys have seen in the video. Make sure you guys go check out the revision page on Instagram for more updates on the brand, and also go follow me at Designed by Will. I'll see you guys when I see you. I love you. Peace.